What time is it over there anyway?
10:42 right now.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much for coming on
No
today.
worries. No worries.
A little later than usual. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So why I called you on, first of all, of course, we've had this mastermind going on, three gentlemen. It's
Yeah.
been a great time.
Yeah.
And you are the youngest,
hmm
23.
Yeah.
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 So I thought, hey, there could be some 23-year-olds, there could be some 20-year-olds, some 16-year-olds
Yeah. Yeah.
who are thinking of writing a book, but they're like, oh my God, what am I going to say? Do I actually have anything to say?
Yeah.
And like the whole validation thing, like, can I teach anyone, or do I have any experience to pass on, and that kind of thing. So I thought, hey, you've done great.
Yeah.
You have. I
Thank you.
totally love your book. So I thought, hey, why don't you just come on? The mastermind is, done with, and we're continuing with the publishing journey. And I thought, come on, inspire someone. They'll hear your story and maybe think, hey, I could totally do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, just in case we have, anyone watching or who will watch later, and they do not know who we are, my name is Roxy, and I run a mastermind just helping writers move from idea to, hey, I've finished writing this book. And the mastermind takes 8 weeks. And during those 8 weeks, we look at a number of things, but the core thing really is that we get people to write their first draft in 30 days or less sometimes. Yeah. So, Tendo, hey, tell
Hi.
us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone that's watching. My name's Tendo. I'm 23 years old. I'm currently studying social work at the University of East London. Just completing my second year. And yeah, that's what takes up most of my time, to be honest, being at university. But yeah, that's me. I also do music
Cool.
as well as obviously writing as well.
Yeah. So you're going to be an author in, I mean, this year, maybe like June, in
Yeah.
a few months. How does that feel for you?
It feels really good. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
I won't really be able to take in the feelings properly and properly digest them until I hold the physical book in my hand and see my name written.
True.
I guess it's as it is now, it's still almost like a figment of my imagination. But
Yeah.
it definitely is
Yeah.
a process that's happening. So I'm looking forward to when the time does come.
Cool. Could
Yeah.
you could you tell us, of course I know about your book, but could you just tell, everyone what inspired you? What's the title of the book? What inspired you to start writing the book? When did you start working on the book? Yeah.
Yeah. So the title of the book is called You're Good Enough. Don't doubt who God has called you to be. I started writing the book around summer 2019, around about then. So it's been
Yeah.
2 years in the making now. And yeah, this book essentially takes on a biblical approach to challenging self-doubt. So a lot of the time, when we read the Bible, there's many references that are made towards plants and trees and fruit. And there are comparisons that the Bible makes between those things and our lives as believers. And
Mm.
when we look at the life cycle of say like a plant, it starts off with a seed being planted. It then develops roots, and then flourishes and bears fruit. And these kind of replicate the seasons that we can go through in different areas of our lives as believers. And self-doubt is one of those things that can hinder our development, whether it's we're starting off with an initial idea and we can be hesitant to going forward with it because of self-doubt, or whether we're trying to really grow and then we hit a road mark and self-doubt can be another blockaded in
Yeah.
that season as well. And the same with how we steward the gifts that we have when we are
Yeah.
flourishing, and self-doubt can appear in that season as well and stop us from
Mm.
growing even further. So this book goes through all those different stages from planting the seed, developing roots and flourishing. and essentially breaks down how we can challenge self-doubt in those different seasons of our lives. Yeah.
It's so good.
That
It's
is
so
good.
good. I guess I'm a little bit biased because, you know, I've read some of it, and I love that you put your own stories in there, and that it's not really like you talking to or talking at someone, but
Yeah.
sharing like, hey, I've experienced that,
Yeah.
and just the foundation and the biblical perspective of, you know, getting out of that self-doubt and focusing on God. So when did you actually, like, when did the idea for the book like first come into your mind? Yeah.
Good question. The way I recall it now, I feel like it was just a moment where God just went, "That's the idea,"
Yeah.
and I kind of just ran with it. I think I had definitely gone through a season like in my life where I definitely wasn't feeling good enough in different areas of my life. That I think I had reached a point where, I guess me being young as well, like you have dreams for your life, and then when things don't pan out how you think they do, I think for me that brought a lot of self-doubt in myself. But I did reach a moment where I really did feel like God was telling me, like, no, you are good enough. Just because things haven't happened in the way that you'd expected them to, it doesn't mean that you still can't fulfill your calling in life.
Yeah.
And so I think it just started with that, just knowing that the way God has made me is good enough, and there is something that He has placed inside of me where I can bless the people that I'm around. And then I just started with that title idea, "You're Good Enough," and then just started building a framework from there. It definitely wasn't a case where I had the book all in one go. It was definitely a process that I had to go through where chapter titles were being added like months after the initial title was given to me. So
Was that like a few months ago? Was that like how long from like the time when you first had the idea to
So
like when you started working on it?
once I got the idea, that was in 2019. I just started write. I just ran
Yeah.
straight away. So
Okay. So yeah, from 2019 you've been working on it.
yeah.
So what would you say are the challenges that you face? Maybe someone is thinking, hey, I also got an idea in 2019, but I'm sort of stuck at this point, and maybe they could relate with something you will share. Like what maybe stopped you from like finishing it in 2019 and having it out? Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying like, what was the question again? Sorry, what was?
What stopped you from the time when you started working on it? Like why didn't you like finish it 2019 and like have it published?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so I did start writing it, and I guess in my head I'd finished it, or I'd at least had something where I could present to someone that this is a book that I feel like is completed. I've done that all I can basically, because during that time I was just working on it myself. I didn't really have any support in terms of having a writing coach or editor that I was working with. So I felt like I had done as much as I could. And then, to be honest, I had just kind of left the rest in God's hand. It was like I'd done the best that I could, and then I was lucky enough to come across you and get what to help solidify it and just continue to build it up to what it will be once it's published.
I'm glad we crossed paths because I think it's a really relevant book. I mean, not just for young adults, but like almost everyone struggles with self-doubt, and some of the time we want to fix it with like, I don't know, self-help, just talk to yourself or fake it, like fake that you don't have any doubt, and I just love how you bring in the whole biblical perspective, and it's amazing how you talk about like the tree and the roots and the fruit and all that. Yeah. So what would you say was like your breakthrough point in the mastermind? Because well, the mastermind is it's really work, you know, just normal stuff that you can find maybe on our website and like just follow how to write a book. But what would you say was like your breakthrough point that got you like, okay, writing fast and being able to finish the book in less than 6 weeks?
Yeah. So I guess before I even give like a direct answer to that, like going into the mastermind,
Yeah.
I think after the first session, I kind of, I was maybe a little bit arrogant because because I came in, I was like, I've already got my book. Like, I don't really like. I thought that I'd maybe start the process like a
Yeah.
little bit later on, and maybe
In the
like,
middle. Yeah.
kind of just chill and like not really do anything. Um, and I think at that point, my word count was like very low compared to
Yeah.
what it finally will be. And so, yeah, I think I just kind of went in with a bit of a complacent mindset.
Yeah.
And you were really challenging us to keep writing, but I was like, like, I don't know, I feel like I've done enough. Like, it was quite stubborn, to be honest. But so once I did eventually, I guess, I got out of that mindset.
Yeah.
Once I did start writing, I was struggling to, I guess, just fill up the book and fill it with
Yeah.
stuff that's relevant. But one of the things that helped me was just finding a structure for each chapter. So I don't know whether it's worth me saying the structure now, but I think once like I had found in my head like just a coherent structure that each chapter followed, then it gave me a better framework to work with. So I knew that in this part of the chapter, I'm going to be writing in this type of way, then this part is going to be, and that was consistent throughout each chapter. And once I caught the flow of that, it did become quite easy, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was
It's like
that was my main
it's
breakthrough.
like, pardon?
That was my breakthrough moment.
Yeah. Just and it's really that the book, like each person has like a unique voice and what can I say, like a book inside of them. I feel maybe for some people even more than one book, and no one can tell it the way that you can. Like no one can write this book the way that you have. And what I feel is that what the person needs is just a specific tool, and I found that for each person it's a different moment in the mastermind where, okay, this is the exact tool, this is what I have been waiting for, and the person just sort of runs with it.
Exactly.
So it's so much fun to watch. It's so much fun to watch.
I
and
can
and
imagine
and,
from
and
your
I,
side, yeah.
yeah, because each person sort of like has their own curve and the way that they transform during the mastermind. And it was just fun because there were times I could tell, okay, now we're at that point because you were texting me more and you're like,
Yeah.
hey, like this thing, like what's happening? I
I
was
was
like,
crying. I was like, Roxanne, I can't do it.
I'm like, we're right there. This is the moment. So I was so excited. It's been such a joy for me, just really working with you and
Yeah, thank you. And
just
your
going
support has
through.
been everything as well. Like definitely
Thank
wouldn't have the
you.
book as to what it is without everything that you've.
Thank you so much. It's so much fun for me. So I feel like I get the better end of the deal. Are we there? Nook nook. Okay, it seems that I lost Tendo right there, but yeah, his book is totally amazing. It's been just beautiful working with him. I think this Tendo has been the first college student, university student that I've worked with in the process. So it's been an interesting dynamic because sometimes if you're doing school, you could think, hey, I'm already packed with lectures, and then maybe for some university students or college students, you're also like working as you're studying, and you're thinking, I do not have time to write. I mean, what excuse are you giving? Is it I do not have time to write this book? Is it I'll write when I'm older, when I'm out of school? Is it like I don't know what the excuse is, but I thought just listening to Tendo's story, you could think, hey, I can write a book. For most of us, it's what do I have to say? Like what do I have to say? Like write a book about what? But each one of us has some experiences, lessons, life lessons, something, something that you have gone through, something that you have learned, something that you have practiced, some sort of life hack, some sort of biblical principle that you've been practicing and you want to share, whatever it is. Like each one of us has something that you can share. And it's time. It's time for you to get started on that book. It's time for you to write and share those things so that other people don't have to grow up in the dark, to go through the same things that you've gone through, to take the same amount of time that you've taken to be where you are. You could just read your book and learn. You know the saying that experience is the best teacher. And then there's also the saying, evaluated experience is the best teacher. But hey, just instruction is the best teacher. And I think that books are a great way to, just pass that on, pass on instruction, pass on wisdom so that people don't have to go through the same experiences we've all been going through. I feel like personal development, community development, national development, all kinds of development, business development, all that can happen so much faster, so much easier if we all just share the things that we have learned, if we all just pass on information, pass on lessons, pass on
We back?
life hacks and all that so that we can be learning from each other. So more authors talking about their journeys, just look out for their books. Some of them would have already published, others will be on the journey to publish. Are you there?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Must be that London internet.
Funnily enough, we literally just had a power cut.
Gotcha.
We literally just had a power cut.
Sorry. Hey, so sorry. Yeah, so I was just, winding up and I thought, hey, do you have any parting words for these people? Someone who's, a college student who could be thinking about writing and yeah, that whole self-doubt thing. Talk to us.
Yeah, I'd say for me, one of the best things that has helped me during this process has just been just doing it and trusting God. Ultimately, I think, especially with social media and how we see other people's lives of people that we don't necessarily know or have like any sort of relationship with, we just see highlights. And so 1 week someone could be posting an achievement, they did the next week it's another achievement, and that's all we tend to see. We only see the best bits. And I think that can definitely be one of the hardest things that we can beat ourselves up about when it comes to trying different things, because if I've got something new that I want to try already, I can already think that I've got to be doing it at the same scale as someone else who for 10 years, and they've already been through their season of planting their seed, developing their roots and flourishing. So I think just understanding that with everything that we do, like when we do it unto God, when we trust him with what he's given us, like he will grow it into what he's made it to be. And I think for me, just trusting God with that, even when I'd finished like the first part of the book, when I thought it was done, just trusting God that he will put it out in the way that he wants to. And he knows how best to handle what he's given us. So
Yeah.
I think just trusting God with what we have and taking things one step at a time, small steps of faith, and eventually reaching a point where whatever it is he's given you has come to completion. So
cool. I'm grinning like this because you sound quite wise. All right. Okay, Tendo, thank you so much.
Sorry about the internet cutting out, so I hope that didn't disrupt it.
I figured you're paying me back. So you know that time when we had internet issues.
Oh yes, yeah, that's
All right, then. It's been fun.
That's
Thank
been great.
you so much. All right. Great. So I'll probably bring you on again when you're done with the editing, part of the book, right before the book comes out. And what's that been like for you as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.